What's up guys, Frankie here. Welcome to The Money Resolution, where we talk all things save money, make money, get out of debt. And today we are talking cord cutting. The reason we're talking about cord cutting is this is something I am strongly considering doing come 2020. And you might remember a few months back, I put out a video where I called Comcast and I was able to shave my Comcast bill down $25 or $30, but still that $130 or whatever it is that I get charged every single month is kind of a sting every time that I see it show up. And I know that there are some cheaper options out there. So I've really been exploring this and researching this the last couple of weeks and asking around. And I thought it just might be a good idea to put a lot of my thoughts together in this video, and it might be useful if you're researching the same thing. Now, I gotta start off by saying this is a lot trickier than I thought it would be to put this video together. And that's because everybody has their own preferences when it comes to television shows or channels that they want, or maybe you need to have local live sports like me. So you gotta make sure you have a device that you can stream these services on. A lot of TVs actually, if they're newer, do have a lot of these options built into the smart TV. If your TV does not, and you definitely wanna stream at home, you're going to need a separate device. Apple TV, Chrome Stick, your Fire Stick, even a video game device. That might work for you as well. And the list goes on and on here of why there are so many nuances. There are prices changing constantly. Some of them have free signups, and with others you can add special things on. So yeah, this is a lot to process. I'm gonna tackle this in 3 different ways. So first, I'm gonna start with your live TV streaming services. Then I'm gonna talk about your video on demand streaming services. And finally, I'm gonna briefly touch on the premium channels that you might be considering adding on. And at the very end of this, I'm going to give you my pick that after all of this research, I am thinking about doing and I recommend. You also wanna stick around to the end of this video because I'm gonna give you a few extra tips that aren't necessarily in line with picking a service, but they're things that I do currently that you might wanna consider if you're considering cutting the cord. Options I'm gonna present, this is just a handful of the many options that are out there. There's just no way to present all of them in one video, but these are the ones that I feel like after research and asking around are the ones that people are using or talking about the most. And also before we get started, I would really appreciate a like on the video. It super encourages me to continue to make these. And if you're new here, you might as well subscribe. I put out videos once a week on all things personal finance. One last thing you definitely want to consider is you need to make sure you're actually saving if you're thinking about cutting the cord. You have a bundle like I do, your internet and your cable together. Which portion of that is your cable, and it's probably a big bulk of it. That's your break-even number, and hopefully whatever service or services you pick, you're gonna come in under that. And at the end of the day, that's what's gonna make this all worth it. So let's talk about the services, and let's talk first about Hulu Live TV. Now Hulu has been around for a while, and a lot of people use Hulu as an option for on-demand, but at just $45, you can get the live TV service, and you can actually stream an unlimited number of devices, and this does come with cloud DVR, although you're limited to just 50 hours of recording. Next up is YouTube TV, which is $50, and this is actually up recently from $40. This too comes with cloud DVR, but has no limit to the storage, but I think after a certain amount of months, it does wipe out anything you have recorded. You do get an offer for a 1-month free trial with YouTube TV, and you can have up to 6 accounts linked into one. And next up is Sling TV, and this one has 3 different bundle options. The orange and blue package are $25 each, and there's an option where you can combine the two for $40 a month. And it's kind of sneaky because there's really good channels on orange and blue, so they definitely nudge you into that $40 range. But otherwise, this is a good service that a lot of people I know use and recommend. And it also includes cloud DVR for watching later. So there's a lot others I'm not gonna dig into now. There's DirecTV Now, Fubo TV, PlayStation Vue, and Philo. And that one's actually interesting because it's just $20 a month, and a lot of people online seem to really like that one. Let's get into streaming services, and let's start with the obvious one here that's been around the longest, and that is Netflix. So Netflix is gonna cost you $9 to $16 a month. So the low end is gonna be for standard high definition, and the higher end of that price is gonna be for 4K and I think more users. And everyone knows Netflix, so I don't need to talk about this option too much, but I will say that they are sinking a lot of money into original programming, and that has been part of the reason Netflix has stayed so popular and relevant for so long, and they're gonna continue to do this for a long time. Now, Hulu on its own without the live TV is actually a pretty interesting option because this one comes in at just $6 a month. So a really affordable option here, and they're gonna offer live TV at I think just like a day's delay. So if you don't have any live TV streaming services, might be a really appealing option just for this reason. They do have some original content that is actually pretty good. Next up is Prime Video, and on its own, Prime Video is just $9 a month, but of course, this is included free if you're an Amazon Prime member, and Prime membership is definitely worth it because that actually comes down to just about $13 a month as of this recording, and you get a ton of other really cool perks. And Amazon actually does give you the option to pay for movie rentals and TV shows as well if you want to add on from there. And they do also have some really good original content. There are several others I'm not gonna cover here, Disney Plus, Apple Plus, all the pluses. Several of these are new and the verdict's still out. Although I will say that they are basically giving away Apple TV Plus. If you buy a new device, you get it for free, I think for a year. Now I said I'm gonna briefly touch on premium channels, and I will keep this super brief. HBO Now is $15 a month, and this comes with no commercials, and they do offer a 7-day trial. So if you're just trying to watch all of Game of Thrones in a week, maybe check out that trial. 15 is a little bit steep, but of course they do have some really awesome original content. Now Showtime and Cinemax and several others are cheaper, but honestly, based on original content alone, which is all you're gonna see on all these premium channels, I think this one's a no-brainer going with HBO Go. And I'll say a lot of people know this. I think there's a joke out there that we're all connected 6 degrees of separation by one login for HBO. I don't think they police the logins that well. Let's talk about those very quick tips, and then I'm gonna get into what I recommend. And the first tip here is I still use Redbox. So call me crazy, but there is something about going to the store and still picking up your DVD and going home and watching it. So what's really cool about Redbox is I'm on the email list, and often they send me offers. It's seriously almost every single weekend I get something like half off or 2 for 1. They also have new releases, maybe not the day they come out on DVD, but they get them really quickly. And when it comes to renting and checking out Blu-rays and DVDs, don't forget the library is actually a really cool free option. But that's not tip number 2. Tip number 2 is actually an app that I use that I think is one of my favorite apps, and this is called Real Good. Essentially a streaming aggregator. So you put in all the sites that you have access to, and if you're looking for a specific movie, this will tell you where you can find it for free or how much it costs to rent. And the other thing that's really cool about Real Good is they just aggregate the most popular across all your streaming services. So if you don't know what you're in the mood for, Real Good's a really cool option to find a free movie or show. And the third tip, and this one is especially for those that are like me, where they're really worried about missing out on live local sports, and this is just to get an antenna. Antennas are making a bit of a comeback, I've noticed, and just poking around Amazon, I'm seeing these for $15 to $25, and these are HD and even 4K antennas. This comes out to just like $2 a month when you think about it for just 1 year. So you get all your local channels, even in 4K, and this is something I'm strongly considering. And I'll link below to the Amazon Choice option here that you see that's just $20. So I've spent a lot of time the last couple of weeks researching and talking to friends, and I am prepared to give my ultimate recommendation and talk about what I'm thinking about doing and cutting the cord in 2020. First of all, the expensive bit here is YouTube TV. Now I do realize at $50, that's a hefty price tag, but I already use YouTube quite a bit, and I do just like the interface. You can organize the way your channels are presented. find your favorite shows and make sure that it's recorded with unlimited space so you never miss out. And yeah, I just like a lot of what they have to offer. I do wish it was still $40, but at $50, I think this is totally worth it for live TV on YouTube. Next, I can't help but recommend Netflix. I have had Netflix since literally like year 2 of their existence when I was getting the DVDs in the mail, and I've never looked back or second guessed it. Their original programming is seriously top notch. And finally, like I just mentioned, I'm considering an antenna to layer on top of all of that. So the total price here is $15. On the low end of Netflix, $9, so we're at $59 there. Let's just assume, you know, the $25 antenna, that's roughly $2 a month. Also, don't forget, if you're a Prime member, you have Prime Video included. I'm talking Netflix, YouTube TV, HBO if you're lucky, antenna for local live coverage, and of course Prime Video, and this all comes out to just $61. This for me would be a savings of $30 plus based on what I'm currently paying my cable company. That was a lot of information. I highly advise you consider your own research as prices change, package options change, you know, all that. Thanks for sticking around. If you have this long, be sure to like the video. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And as always, I will talk to you soon. And also, you know, pay for HBO Go. It's a really, really good option. Stealing is bad.